40% of all students fail a class at university. I got high distinctions in every class that I took because of the way that I take notes. I want to share with you the best note-taking method that I found, and hopefully it will work for you. I learned pretty quickly in university that it was a massive waste of time to try and take notes in class if I hadn't prepared beforehand. And that's because I spent the entire lecture frantically trying to write notes about what was on the screen and not actually listening to what the lecturer was saying at all. I'd come out of the lecture feeling frantic, frustrated, and confused. Until I learned this method. Every professor will provide the lectures as a PowerPoint or PDF handout, and if they don't, you can always request it. I would then convert the slides into a Word document so that I could take notes. If it was provided as a PowerPoint, I would convert it to a PDF, select all, copy, open up my Word document, and simply paste it in there. I would then reformat it to give myself space to take my own notes during class. Then I'd go through the slides step by step to look at the pictures, and then if any of them seemed important or were graphs or equations that I thought might be relevant to my study, I'd screenshot them and drop them into my Word document. But I'd keep the slide handout minimized on my computer so that if during class the lecturer started to talk about a particular picture in detail or it became obvious to me that it was important, I could quickly bring it back up, screenshot it, and drop that picture in and keep taking my notes during class. This meant that during class I was then spending my time listening to the lecturer and understanding the material and taking my own notes, and I was writing about how I understood the material and not just listening to it. I'd also jot down any questions I had for the lecturer, and it would also help me with exam prep later. Especially since most lecturers will deliberately omit or exclude things from their lecture slides so that we actually go to class and listen. But I learned that the slides themselves were just the basic information and that during the lecture they explained the material so we could actually understand it. One of my lecturers actually took this to extreme by providing blank slides. Sometimes there would just be a blue line graph and he would have no labels and no access titles, so you had no idea what the class was about, so you had to go and listen to him explain it. Luckily for me, he was a really great lecturer, so I understood the material every class. But sometimes we don't understand the lecturers, sometimes we don't understand their teaching style. So I found by having the notes beforehand already made of what the slide content was, you could actually just spend the lecture trying to understand what they were saying. And after all, our lecturers are the ones that actually design the exams and they design the slides. So they format it in a manner that steps us through the learning process. But if we're wasting our class taking notes about what's on the screen, we miss the actual learning. So we come out of class having listened but not learned, which makes exam prep really hard. I found it best to take these notes immediately before class. I did try preparing my notes the night before, but it didn't work for me because I was spending all my time working on assessments and the last thing on my mind was the lectures the following day. For me, it was best to grab a coffee, go and sit in the lecture hall and prepare my notes. And the added bonus was that the material was fresh in my mind immediately before class. Sure, I didn't read the lecture in detail or understand it, but the phrases and the pictures were already familiar to me, and so they were in the forefront of my mind before the lecturer even started talking or explaining it. So I was already a huge jump ahead. Then adding the fact that I already had my notes made on the lectures themselves and I was just taking notes on what my understanding was or any extra detail that the lecturer was providing when he was talking meant I was another huge step ahead. And this note-taking method didn't just help with my understanding in class, it helped me with assessments too. Because I had a digitized copy of my notes rather than a handwritten format, I could quickly search it using Command or Control F to search for information around a topic that I needed for an assessment. So that sped up that process too. Then when it came time for exam preparation, I found I was just spending my time studying and not actually preparing any notes because I had already made them. I would then group my notes together in a way that made sense. For some classes it was just week 1, week 2, week 3, but in other classes I found it better to order it by topic. For example, in my earth science class we studied glaciers and then deserts, earthquakes and volcanoes. So I'd group my notes together like that. One Word document for deserts, one for glaciers, one for earthquakes and one for volcanoes. This made it easier when it came time for exam preparation. And the best part was during exam preparation I wasn't wasting my time preparing notes, I was just studying them. Note-taking effectively helps us actually understand the material and not just know the words. So I was able to understand the material as I went through a semester, and then I was just studying them and refreshing them in my mind for the exam. But we all learn differently. All we have to do is think about how we best learn. Is it by reading? Is it by writing? Is it by drawing a picture or by listening to somebody talk? Figuring out how we best learn can make a huge difference to our grades, and I don't think enough emphasis is put on this. To learn about the different ways you can study for an exam, watch this video next. Once we know our own learning style, we can study less, get better grades, and understand the material, which after all is the whole point of university. It's not just to know it, it's to actually understand it and then hopefully go out into the real world and apply it.